This morning, welcome to ROCA. I did not get the memo on the color that I was supposed to be. I am so very disappointed. What a great sea of what color? To green? I'm not sure what shade it was. It's a right way of welcoming everybody to a very special place, ROCA. I have had a relationship with ROCA that's probably not unlike many people in this community, many of the people that you help find their path to their best selves. When ROCA came to this community 35 years ago, I was somebody, I forget what position I had. I was a legislative aide at the State House. I grew up in Chelsea, was part of the establishment, very proud of the community, and ROCA came in and told me I was doing everything wrong. Who can relate to that in the audience? And when ROCA told me I was doing everything wrong, I said, no, you are the problem, not me. What you represent is not what we, the community, want to see happen, and I pushed away from ROCA. And now I'm going to use a word that some of you who have been in ROCA may have heard before. Those of you who are here for the first time will hear this an awful lot about ROCA was relentless in relationship with me and saw in me the same thing that all of you see in the community that you help to serve. ROCA saw in me somebody who would get it if I could open my ears to understanding. And my more than good friend now, Wally, for the last 32 years of our relationship, continues to help me understand that the ways that I was thinking about helping to break the cycle of violence and poverty in communities like Chelsea needs to constantly be challenged and innovated. And through ROCA's great work here in Chelsea, as well as all around the state, and I'm so proud to say in other states now, we are helping to show that every person in a community, whether they started off and stayed on the straight path or took many zigs and zags along the way, have a great life that's available to them. Sometimes all they need is a little bit of mentorship. Sometimes all they need is a little bit of understanding of who they are. Sometimes they need help as to how they should react to certain situations. And sometimes they just need somebody who cares about them. And that's what we do collectively here at ROCA, and it's the reason why I'm so proud of my affiliation with ROCA all these years. I had the opportunity to serve Governor Baker as his Secretary of Housing and Economic Development, and the opportunity was to go around to the state. I towns I didn't go to. A little joke is I try to keep up with Lieutenant Governor Polito, going to every city and town. Lieutenant Governor Polito has been to every city and town in Massachusetts. I stopped trying to keep up with her. But as I went around to especially places that I call, as gateway cities, older urban communities that once had thriving economies and were the center of activity in their regions and had fallen upon hard times and had difficulties in some neighborhoods. As I went around to those communities, I would say to community leaders, tell me about your relationship with people who have been marginalized, that have been disenfranchised, that look at government not as a solution but the problem. Tell me about your relationship. And do you have an organization like ROCA who can facilitate a better relationship with those communities? And oftentimes I would get a blank stare. A blank stare because there is no other organization like ROCA. And in many communities, it's exactly what they need in order to be able to reach their fullest potential as a community and to help individuals in the community. So we're here 35 years old. Here's my complaint model. When I first started to get to know you, I didn't have any gray hair. I think our relationship is recruised. 35 years, we have celebrated our community. Sometimes we have cried together, but lots of times we have laughed together as we have made an impact on the lives of individuals, helping them to prosper, but also in communities to help them recognize and realize their greatest potential. So I want to thank you all for your contributions. As a board member now at ROCA, I want to tell you how proud I am to represent you and how proud I am to welcome external partners and new friends, because we really are doing something special here. I know a lot of people who are wearing green here have the same feeling I do. When I get up in the morning, I can't wait to get out and make a difference. Make a difference in the lives of people and the lives of the communities that I care about. Wow, not only are you doing that, but you're doing it in such a way that people around the country are saying, will you please come and help us? What a terrific recognition that is for all the great work here at ROCA. So I want to thank everyone for being here today as we celebrate another great day here at ROCA. We're going to have a few speeches. I'm going to get back here. Nobody gets to feel like I have to be up there, but it feels like, wow, a long way away. Had the opportunity to work with many of you on many different things. Denari is here. Joe, and Joe, where are you? When I walk around the community, people say, hey, Joe! Oh, well, I don't know what it is. Joe has been one of my go-to people here at ROCA. Joe, I got a guy like this. Joe, I know a young woman is that. Joe, tell me about what we're doing on this or that or the other thing. And not only does he always have an answer, but the answer is usually Jay. Let me take it from here and I'll try to make a difference. And Joe, you do an awful lot of that. So Joe, thank you for all your work here at ROCA. And it's a great pleasure to introduce my friend Joe.
I've been here for 6 years, and my name used to be Jeff Black. Morning, everybody. How are we doing this morning? Fired up, as I usually say. Here at ROCA, the month of November is our month of gratitude. Today's day is to take some time to meditate and reflect. So let's take a few moments just to take some time. Think about what we're grateful for. Just going to jump out of the door. Just to remember why we're all here. I'm grateful for all of you. All of you coming here this morning to support the work we do for our young people. It's been a while since of inviting so many people into our home and join the family to celebrate together and to continue the great work we do to support all of our young people. We're grateful for all of you, our community partners, law enforcement, educators, probation, healthcare providers, volunteers. We need you. We're part of the team. We go to great lengths to seek out the highest risk youth, collaborating with teams, our engaged institutions, all of you. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Ensure that we're working towards the same goal, helping young people understand and realize there's another way of doing things. Not doing it phone number. It's capital, trucks are ready. It's going to be hard. There's going to be every step of the way. And together, successfully, we can achieve the change. Taking an average of 12 door knocks from a youth work to begin this journey to build trust and take us to some extreme highs and lows. This work that we choose relentless, yes, but satisfying to the team that loves the work. Disrupting is what we do best. We refer to it as relentless. Disrupting the cycle is what we do best. It's trying to behavior change with our young people. A simple pause to stop a young person from making that what could be the biggest mistake of their life. CBT, think, feel, and do cycles. If you look at the back wall, we have the skills on the wall. I suggest that you all take the time to maybe go over and take a look at that sometime this morning. That's a theory that we practice. It's our core. It's what we deliver to our young people. We are relentless. We are safe. We are the building blocks that get knocked down, they put back up. Because we build real outcomes for our work. It's not a perfect science, but the data supports the work and achievements that we do with our young people. And here's some of the data points I'm talking about is the Chelsea men that we served in FY22, 184. We have a Central Rhode Youth Program that's here. We served 77 young people in FY22. Total Chelsea men served 261. Of the total served, 91 successfully completed, successfully were contacted. The ROCA Chelsea team made 15,494 total outreach efforts. Of those, 11,167 were successful contacts, which means the team was able to engage young people in meaningful ways. Of the total served, 84% engaged in programming, education, remote, workforce readiness, life skills. Through our use of CBT, 65% showed improvement in emotional regulation. So, I think that's what your textbook. 66 of those enrolled 21 months or more were placed in unsubsidized employment. 93% of those enrolled 24 months or more had no new charges. Pretty amazing. 100% of those enrolled 24 months or more had no incarceration and no new charges. ROCA's overall recidivist rate is 37% lower than the average across the state. We appreciate all of you. We look forward to continuing building the relationships that we have in the years to come. Remember, November is the month of gratitude. Think about what we do every day. Think about the work that we do with our young people. Appreciate everyone in the world. As volleyball says, everybody needs a little bit of love in their life. Hug somebody once in a while. Look to your left, look to your right. Appreciate what you're here for. I appreciate all of you. Thank you very much for your time. Mr. Rapp.
John, thanks. Lots of great stats. Lots of tremendous impact. I'm going to put a face on some of the stats. So, when I was city manager here in Chelsea for 14 years, 14 best years of my life, Tommy Racino, I hope that you would agree, 14 best years of my life, I'm sure it's the 8 best years you all know, city manager Tommy Racino's here. So when I was city manager, I would come here in the evening, late at night, Molly and I would sit around, we would talk about what was happening with ROCA. We would talk about what's happening in the city. Molly would be lots of great advice. I would say about Molly that she could be the head of a Fortune 500 company, and we have her working with us here. So it's late at night, and hear this guy say, I'm going to say darn, he didn't say darn. He might have started the word with an F instead of a D, and he said, darn, I just missed my bus. Well, I was driving home, I no longer lived in Chelsea, I was driving home, I said, where do you live? And he said, Walton. I said, you know what, I can go from Walton, let's go. So it's late at night, I'm driving this guy home that I've never met before. I'm going to a neighborhood in Malden that I've never been to. And I said to him, how do you get home to ROCA? And he said, well, I was arrested for being an accessory to murder. Oh, wow, what did I get myself into there? Can I tell you that the 20 minutes we spent driving to Malden was like the best 20 minutes of my life? My wife's not here, is she? Bernard and I talked about, in that 20 minutes, the period of time, just like Joe was saying, disrupting, the period of time where he was in a situation that he made the wrong decision. The wrong decision was to be with the wrong people. And the wrong people were doing something that Bernard wasn't happy about, and unfortunately, somebody was murdered. I developed a relationship with Bernard over the years, and what I always thought about with Bernard is if he didn't have a place like ROCA to go to, and he stayed involved in the system, and I appreciate all of us, and I include myself who would be part of the system, odds are that Bernard would have continued down a path that wasn't leading to Bernard to who he was and what his potential could be. And he found ROCA. And the last time I talked to him, I don't know if you talked, the last time I talked to Bernard, he was a property manager down in Florida. And I was so proud that he had gotten past everything in his past and was leading his best life forward, and just full of energy and promise. And so we hear stats. You all know that the stats are important, but the faces behind the stats are even more important. And what we are doing here is we are helping the Bernards of the world get past those things that they found themselves in to negotiate a better life themselves and contributions to their family and community. So I'm so proud of the work that we've all done. The stats are very telling, but the stories behind the stats are even more important. Lots of you staff are working hard here. Cindy has been a leader of the effort with young mothers, has been an inspiration to lots of us. One of the things I admire, I've been given the microphone a lot of times, as you can tell, to say the first round. I really admire people who don't take the microphones, and in fact, are the people who show up every day to do the work and really feel for what they're trying to accomplish for people in the community. Cindy's been one of the great examples of that. I'd like you to welcome up Cindy Vala from ROCA.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for coming. We have the privilege of working with close to 200 young women and their babies out of this site, the most we've ever served. For the first time, we have a wait list and are turning young women away who so desperately need support in our community. The young women we work with have lived such hard lives, and they wake up every day and face seemingly unsurmountable challenges, from extreme poverty, exposure to violence, just wanting to give their children a life full of love and stability that they themselves didn't have. They're so incredibly brave and resilient, and can and do achieve great things. Over the past year, 75% of them showed improved mental health, 74% of them reduced substance use, 22 had their DCF cases closed and got to be with their children. 10 of them got their high school diploma. It takes them a little longer, but they do these great things. And 94% of them were placed in jobs, retained those jobs for at least 6 months. For these successes, I really can't take any of the credit. I want to thank our partners, especially DTA and DCF, our school partners, and I also want to thank legislators and some of the funders we have here today. Thank you for your generous support to keep this program going. We have a lot of work to do. Most of all, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the incredible staff of the Chelsea Young Mothers team who work relentlessly day in and day out and go over and above to do everything they can to shower love on our young women and their children. I could go on and on about the program, but I'd actually like to introduce someone who's very special to me. Her name is Olga Romero, and she's a staff on our Young Mothers team. I've had the privilege of watching her grow from youth worker to be our first reentry coordinator for young women in Canada Law. So I'd like to introduce Olga.
Good morning. I don't think I can tell any of those speeches, but I'll try. So you can say that I'm a ROCA baby. These walls and some of the staff here present have seen me grow up throughout the years. This is actually a picture of little 8-year-old me in very stylish hair twisties and mommy's office. I was pretending to type at my mom's desk, and I've been told that I said, "One day I'm gonna work here like my mom." Yeah, really, I had no idea what I was manifesting. My mother, Ignacia, that beautiful lady right there. She brought me to this country when I was 7 years old to meet my father. And she decided to dedicate her time to community work. Now, I didn't understand it then, but she was raising 2 kids in a foreign country with no support for undocumented people. So, ROCA was my daycare. This is how I was introduced to the circle process from a very young age, and it helped me develop empathy and compassion for others. This is also when I learned that my mom was not just my mom, I was going to have to share her with participants. Now, for young women, growing up in Chelsea, it was risky. There was a lot of gang and street violence. ROCA was known to the police and to the community as a place where gangs hung out. I learned to carry a knife when I was 11, and I relied a lot on my older brother. Because, well, my dad was a present, absent father. Not because he wanted to be, but because, like most, he lived the life of a hard-working immigrant. The first time that I was introduced to violence was when a kid close to home. Our home was broken into, and not long after that, we got a call that my brother was in a street fight and he was stabbed. Now, I remember ROCA staff supporting my family through this, but it wouldn't be the first or the last time that I experienced violence in my community. Anyone who went to Chelsea High back then knows that it was low-key run by gangs. So, I was very lucky because of the reputation that my brother had and the work that my mom did with the young men. I was very lucky, you could say, not to get hurt. However, that didn't stop me from getting into a little bit of trouble. It was almost inevitable to get pulled into the wrong social circle. So soon I started getting into fights, skipping school, failing classes, doing drugs, not having the healthiest relationships. So basically, while my mom was pulling kids off the street, I was busy doing the complete opposite. It got to the point where my mom was pretty much done with me. She didn't know what to do. And I guess Molly got the bright idea and decided, let's get her a youth worker. Jose. I hated him. Mom and Jose would team up and use a big ROCA white vans to pull up on me and my friends and just bring us all to ROCA, to play soccer, to get tutoring, pretty much anything that would keep us engaged. Food usually did the trick, I'm not gonna lie. Now Jose would drop me off at school every morning and then pick me up 30 minutes later when I got the fast to skip class. So super annoying, but I guess that's why I graduated. Now, it's not all pretty. Some of my peers did drop out, some became teen moms, got seriously hurt, and some became system involved. And that could have been me if it wasn't for the staff program. Now, even though I lost friends to street violence and substance use, I am grateful for the intervention that they did. They created a place where we wanted to be, a place we felt safe, and a second home where we could reap our loss. Safe enough for me to come in drunk. Now let me tell you, Jose, he did his relentless outreach. So much that he insisted one day that I come in, and he was blowing up my phone. And when I showed up like that, he asked, what's going on with you? Let's talk about this. And I spilled everything. I told him everything that had happened that week, everything that had happened that day. Might have been the drinks in my system, but I poured out my soul to that man. And you know what he said? Stop. Please, just don't tell me anymore because your mom's gonna kill me. But she didn't. And looking back, 100%, she did some serious youth work and CBT me without knowing. But it wasn't just her. It was everyone who kept us engaged. And like every staff here today, continued to give the same support to every other youth that wants to go indoors. Now, I get to return the favor. I work with a population of young moms and young women who are often forgotten about, and many have given up on them. Why? Well, because they're difficult. They're emotional, manipulative. But that's just because, like me, they learn that's the only way they're going to get hurt. So I get the privilege to go to the houses of corrections and start building those relationships with these women. It's hard working with them because they don't trust anyone. They don't even trust themselves. Most of the time, they're guarded, not willing, ready, or able to engage with us. But God forbid I don't show up because they'll be mad. So not to go as hardworking the systems are, but most of them are released into the same environment that got them there in the first place, with little to no outside supports. These women have been let down so much, some of them have even lost custody of their kids, and have broken family relationships. Top that off with serious trauma, substance abuse, homelessness, and a still developing brain. This is where we come in. A coworker of mine said, we're not here to save lives, we're here to intervene. And we do that every day by being in it with our participants, by relentlessly showing up for them and slowly breaking down the walls they built. We teach them new pathways to get their needs met and give them the tools to build a better future for themselves, so they can break the generational cycles that keep them stuck. It's an honor to continue working here with everyone and witness the transformations that these women go through. Thank you.
Wow, I didn't follow that. You follow that by saying Ignacio. Congratulations. Ignacio's been here for 20 years, always a smiling face, always looking to help others. It's great that you've been able to do so much good work in the community, but it's obviously you've done all of your work at home too, so congratulations. Before I forget,
Thank you.
you know that I don't agree that this didn't happen, so. I'm taking a selfie of myself. You want me to lie? There we go. Some people talk about systems as a bad thing. And for many years it was, for many decades it was, for many generations it was. The lucky thing that has happened as a result of the relentless work of ROCA is that systems have opened up. The systems have opened up to the realization that, when you do the same thing over and over again, and it doesn't work, maybe you're part of the problem as opposed to part of the solution themselves. So, I started as city manager. I needed to open up to a different way. Brian dies in the back room, police chief, now U.S. Marshal in Massachusetts. Here in an official or unofficial capacity, Brian? He's not talking. Police department had to open up to it. Probation had to open up to it. The courts had to open up to it. And, we're lucky that many have. Sometimes it takes a long time, but that's okay. Because the relationships you work on, the longest are often the relationships that are the most meaningful. And we're lucky that probation department, Don Gomez has been a real champion for us. You know, it's tough when you're inside, for those of you who haven't been inside, it's tough when you're inside and you have to talk to your peers about why you're doing something differently and why you're taking a risk on an organization that, quite frankly, has been known to have a few bad people, I shouldn't say bad people that have had bad experiences hanging around. And Nick Common has been a real champion for us inside the system, but also outside. So, Common, thanks for allowing me to do this.
Yeah, this is going to be hard to follow, Olga, so I'll do my best. Before I start, I want to acknowledge my friend and new Chief Probation Officer for the Chelsea District Court, Jessica Iowano, who is right here. Okay, so good morning, everybody. My name is Carmen Gomez. I am the Regional Supervisor for the Massachusetts Probation Service. I see a lot of different probation people here, like my friend Damon and some of the other probation officers. Michelle Lewis from the Chelsea Court, so thank you for being here. I have been in the system for about 26 years. I know you're wondering, how could that be? She was too young, but I started, 26 years ago. 10 of those years, I was the Chief Probation Officer here in Chelsea, then now just the leads. And it has been just an absolute pleasure to be in the system, as Jay said. I had known about ROCA for probably 25 years, but it wasn't until I became a PO in the Suffolk Superior Court that I really started working with ROCA. And to be honest with you, not a fan. Right? I really thought that they enabled people. I really thought that their philosophy did not align with the criminal justice system and probation. And so initially I really tried to stay away. I was like, I really don't want to deal with them, but we really have to send people over there. Fortunately for us, and we'll use the word relentless, ROCA is relentless, right? And so they engaged us, they brought us in, and we learned to sort of learn more. So, and that's, once I understood the work, it made all the difference. Once I understood their mission, it really made the difference for us to engage with ROCA. And, more importantly, to get to know the people who on a daily basis come into this place and work, and to know their passion, their commitment and dedication to the young people in our communities really made a difference. And, probation was already involved with ROCA when I started in Chelsea. But once I started working with Molly and I started working with a lot of the other people here in the community, I realized that we really needed to create more collaboration, that we needed to create a real partnership. And so since that time, we have collectively worked at ROCA to strengthen community partnerships and collaborations and resources to serve our justice-involved young people better. In retrospect, I did not give up on ROCA because they did not allow it. Their commitment to community partners is just as relentless as their outreach to the young people they provide services to. Our collaboration opened the door of trust. It helped break silos and created more transparent communication among community partners and our mutual clients. ROCA has provided quality and effective human services for over 34 years. In turn, the Chelsea community has become safer for many families, including those of the young people ROCA serves. Chelsea went from being on the top 100% most dangerous cities in the United States to being completely off the list. And I'm not sure how many of you know that, but being completely off the list. Partly due to the work and efforts by ROCA, the Chelsea Police Department, the Chelsea District Court, and many other organizations committed to improving the quality of life for our residents, including me. ROCA has created a safe space for young men and women and has removed the labels we have historically put on them. ROCA has drastically created new pathways, and by doing so, changed the trajectory of many young people's lives. ROCA's mission speaks to the disruption of incarceration, poverty, and racism, and understands that these societal issues are at the core of human rights. ROCA has been a conductor of change, innovator, and trailblazer since it started. ROCA is grounded in theory, evidence, and research, and maintains some of the most impressive stats I've ever seen. And for those of you who know me, I love these stats. So over 34 years ago, ROCA identified that young people between the ages of 16 and 24 had different needs and complexity many of us didn't understand. We now call them emergent adults. Coincidentally, the concept of emergent adults was later identified by Dr. Jeffrey Arnett from Clark University in 2000. 14 years after ROCA had identified these young people. To many, this group was a lost cause, and the biggest hope for them was that they would age out of the system. Today, science tells us that their brains are not fully developed, and that we have to treat them accordingly. Chelsea also adopted the Chelsea Hub from Canada. The Chelsea Hub was actually the first municipality in the United States to adopt the hub and implement it. In 2019, ROCA went a step further and developed the ROCA Impact Institute, a collaboration with the Massachusetts General Hospital to develop a variation of the cognitive behavioral theory curriculum previously used for participants for law enforcement called REWIRE. REWIRE seeks to increase officer wellness and de-escalation techniques. It provides law enforcement officers with the skills to respond to incidents differently and more effectively, and to understand their own trauma and learn emotional regulation. A step further in bridging the gap between justice-involved individuals and law enforcement. I am proud to be part of REWIRE. ROCA has embraced civil rights attorney Brian Stevenson's quote that says, "Each of us is more than the worst thing we have ever done." Think about that, right? This is the theme, the theory, the mission, everything that ROCA stands for is based on that. ROCA also follows Stevenson's 4 steps to change in the world. The first one is, we have to get approximate to the problem we care about. This is a tricky one because I don't think that ROCA can possibly get any closer. Otherwise, most of us will be going for harassment orders to the court. The second one is, we have to change the narrative of fear and anger. Fear and anger that has allowed us to inflict pain on a vulnerable population because we don't understand them. The third one is, we have to remain hopeful. Stevenson says that hope is what will make you stand when everyone else is sitting. That hope is what will make you speak when everyone else is silent. The fourth one is that sometimes we have to do uncomfortable things. We have to call out the wrongs in the system, and ROCA does. We have to fight against discrimination, inequalities, racism, and poverty. ROCA does this work because it matters. Probation, the courts, police, and community partners do this work because it matters. To all the ROCA participants in Chelsea and other communities in Massachusetts, in Connecticut, in Baltimore, you matter. Your communities matter. And don't ever let anyone tell you otherwise. In closing, I want to thank Molly for being a friend, a visionary, and for leading us in the right way. I also want to thank Scott, Joe, and the entire ROCA team, the Massachusetts Probation Service and the Chelsea District Court, and thank you, Jay, for this, and thank you, everybody. It has been my pleasure to be here today.
It was awesome. All you were great time. You mastered it. As you can see, we have key partnerships, and the key partnerships are making a difference in the communities. The next hour, I'd like to talk about our next speaker. Let me just say one thing. I am on Twitter, if any of you know. If you don't know that, why don't you? Last night, the question on Twitter was, who's the person you most admire? Now, I love all of you in the audience here, but I didn't say incredible. I can't tell you how much. The reason why I've stuck with ROCA for as long as I have with this behavioral science thing that I'm learning more and more about is I'm trying to figure out all what makes you think. Because you are so incredibly positive in the darkest of times, and you are so generous with the friendship that you extend to everybody, and I have to say, you also hold us all accountable in a very good way. And so, Paul, I'd like a lot from you. It's a great pleasure to introduce our good friend, Oliver.
Words first, and then I'm going to introduce you to two very special people. First of all, I love everything everyone said this morning. We're so blessed to have you all here. I love the Not a Fan. Let me just, a few words about the remarkable young people. We have the privilege of spending time with about 1,500 young people between Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Baltimore, who mostly are not a fan of ours, but we are a fan of theirs. We also have launched, really under Jen's leadership, this ROCA Impact Institute to help other organizations work with young people, criminal justice systems, probation departments, juvenile justice, and police be as in love with young people as we are, and what a privilege of helping thousands of other young people. And some of those places are actually on the other side of the bridge. It took us a while, but nonetheless we're there. But I love the Not a Fan. Hardly need to talk about ROCA anymore because between Olga and Carmen, that's all taken care of and Joe, so thank you. I want to thank a few people this morning for getting us here. Chris, Kat, Kathy, Ryan, wouldn't be in the room, wouldn't have coffee, wouldn't have any food, so thank you very much. And I want to thank Jay for your friendship, for also not being a fan, but being honest about it, and for helping us learn and lead and be different and be braver. Without you, I don't think we'd be here either. So, Joe says it's about gratitude, really for our partners. First for the young people, we know that, but today it's really about something else. Also, extreme privilege to work with the incredible ROCA staff. For what you do every day is mind-blowing. It fills your heart. And what keeps me going is the privilege of more company to try to make the world better. So thank you to the ROCA staff. Wanted to thank our partners, and we haven't been able to do that in person. Some of you have handwritten notes from me, you can't read. A lot of you have been on Zooms with us. We've been trying to have a party to thank you for several years now, but we wanted to say thank you for these partnerships. There are people in this room we've known for almost 35 years, which is amazing. For those of you who are newer, just you now know what's in store for you. And we don't really care if you're a fan of ours either or not. We need you, you're in, and you're there for the rest of your life. What we wanted to do is, we had a very special friend who passed last year, who was a remarkable leader, who believed that love was at the center of everything and taught us more than we can ever share, and that was the late Harry Spence. With the permission of his family, we are able to give out an award or two every year. And that's what we want to do, is introduce you to two people. Neither of them know this. One of them got totally lied to about being here. The other one sort of too. But Harry's leadership, his dedication and compassion for people in Chelsea and the young people ROCA serves, his leadership across the state, his power of example was so extraordinary. And he was also a little pushy and direct. He likes to forget that part. We had a few conversations. He said, I would raise my voice. I'm like, oh yes. But just remarkable and inspiring. And talk about Brian Stevens' hope. I mean, he stood for all of that. He walked into the Department of Children and Families and put love squarely on the table while everyone thought he had lost his mind. So the first person you completely lied to, so you can say what you like or not to say, it is our huge honor to recognize Brian Pies with the first Harry Spence.
she definitely tripped me. I'll sit back there, so the two people kind of look around. But no, thank you very much, Molly, Jay, the whole team, Scott, excuse me, Joe, Carmen, that was great, all my friends there, Paul, Wiggy, everyone. I'm just honored to be here. Chief Holton, Keith Holton, I just recently retired in October. A little bit of, I guess, about me, for those of you who don't know me. So I was a cop in Chelsea for just over 35 years. I was privileged and honored to be selected by Jay when he was the city manager to serve as the police chief for 15 years. And as I'm listening to all the words that were spoken, I'm just kind of flashing back on my career. I'm here with Tommy Dunn, captain in our job, and Tommy and I both began started 35, 36 years ago. And I'm not going to say anything negative about ROCA, honestly, because there's nothing negative to say. Even though some people might say the relationship with law enforcement starting out wasn't the greatest, I didn't really see that. I was talking with Tommy in the back, and he said the same. We all had to learn, we all had to grow, and we always do. I am lucky that I get in my new role, and Jay mentioned I was recently selected as the U.S. Marshal here in Mass, and I'm lucky enough to roam around the state and beyond, and really brag about my roots here in Chelsea, and honestly, it was just yesterday, I was up in New Hampshire, up in Concord, New Hampshire, and I was talking with the USA, which is the United States Attorney up in New Hampshire, Janice Young, and we were talking about community, we were talking about giving back, we were talking about partnerships. And I couldn't help but just bring up the name ROCA and Molly and your entire team, and by the way, green's my favorite color. And just all the great work that this organization does is phenomenal. When I was the police chief, I would brag on and on again about the relationship and the partnership that we have. And I'll say this, that you talk about young men and young women that find themselves at times in challenging circumstances. Sometimes the family unit, it's difficult to control the situation. City government, police department, family, friends, community-based organizations, nobody can do it alone. It takes a true partnership. It takes true leadership. And again, just as one street cop, one kid that grew up here in the city, I got a front row seat to see it, to see the success. The young lady who was speaking earlier and was mentioning that she was here as a young child and mom worked here for many years. That was a moving story. That's someone that has chosen to give back and help others that are coming up behind. So I'm on it, and again, you tripped me, you really did, but I really, really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The next person has no idea we're doing this. Another person we sort of tricked in this morning. We all need and want an elder. We want a wise one. We want one with a good heart that guides us, that has faith, that has love no matter what. This is a person we met almost 35 years ago, who's done all kinds of things with us, whose heart is so big, who is so courageous, whose faith is so strong, who never says no. And it is my great honor to recognize Marta Gonzalez.
Because now is November, is the great, give it thanks God, because give me that strong to be part of ROCA since I was 45 years old. This means my journey for ROCA has been my school, my family, my tutors, everything. They now appreciate it, and I give it thanks God to bring me to this agency to know myself, to know who I am. And this means thank you, all of you guys.
on Facebook, house party, and WhatsApp, teaching CBT and sex ed to young men in history. Our privilege to know her. So glad you could join us and thank you.
Just a couple of quick comments. Every time I come in and I see Martha, she has a big smile for me, and it's so great to be able to recognize her for the person that she's been and the inspiration that she's been to so many. Martha, congratulations. Brian Guys is, we all know that you need champions in this world, and Brian has been a champion not only for ROCA but for the city. I say it often, I'll say it here, 14 years, made lots of appointments. The best appointment I ever made, Brian Guys on the police department, not only because he's a police officer, when it comes to law enforcement, he's a community organizer, who's made such an impact here in Chelsea, and now will make an impact around the country and the world. Brian, congratulations on this program. Just to quickly recognize some other people in the audience, State Representative Kate Garabedian is here, good friend from Melrose. Thank you for being here. Newly elected state rep. Wow, congratulations. Jenny Armini is here, so congratulations. Jessica Giannino has been a person that's been important to Chelsea, as well as her hometown of Revere. And Jessica, we hope that we will continue our relationship with you, and of course we will, because we know where you live. We'll be there, but Jessica's been a special champion in the legislature for us, but also in the communities that we serve. So Jessica, thank you for your work. Thank you for being who you are. Many others of you in the audience that I really love to thank. I have a long list here, so let me begin at the top. Thank you all for your contributions. One of the things I've learned at ROCA is that collectively we can do so much more together than we can as individuals. There are so many others in this community, in communities around the state, around the country, that want to be part of something that's making a positive impact on the lives of people who need champions. And our work is to find them, to help them understand what our mission is about, and then to turn them loose and let them be great ambassadors for us. We all know that ROCA is a special place. We all know that ROCA can make a difference in the lives of everybody. Thanks for that recognition. More importantly, thank you for being ROCA. So thanks everyone for being here.